A brief message from your friendly neighborhood editing Jordan. We tend to try to keep things pretty PG-13 around here, but this is an improv podcast. So, who knows what we're going to say. Sometimes we throw in some swearing, some sexual content, and some violence. So, as a general warning, viewer discretion is advised. Also to be noted, the opinions stated about a certain tabletop role-playing game are just that, our opinions. We love the game and we like talking about it. So, any criticisms are really just all in good fun. That being said, wizards, please hire us. All right, with that out of the way, let's get on with the show. This is not a musical episode.
Oh. He's just vibing over there. That is what Robin does.
He is
when she does her ult. She just moves around like that. You can't use her for I think it's 3 rounds. She just does that.
We also have no visual representation of what he's doing.
I know he's doing what Robin does. If you want to know what he was doing, audience at home, look up Honkai Star Rail Robin Ultimate. And that's what he was doing. Precisely, 100%.
Bards, like I said, bards wish they could be Robin.
True.
Just sing a song for 18 seconds to boost your allies, but otherwise you can't move, you can't act.
True.
She can't sing, she can't act, she can't dance. Triple threat.
She can sing and act and dance.
I'm quoting a movie.
They don't have those in Star Rail.
Oh, shit.
I was quoting a FNAF analog horror series. Hey everybody, welcome to the Nat One Podcast, aka Nope, because nope, you're not gonna want to hear what we're about to have to say. I'm Pertuset.
I'm Levi.
And I'm Jordan.
Renew your definition.
This is not a Honkai Star Rail episode. I don't know why
it's
this
turning
is
into it.
I played 4 hours before this because I just wanted to catch up a little.
Coney right now.
Anyway. Speaking of pee.
And no, I'm not going to continue that thought.
Have you ever fought another player in D&D? Interlinked.
I mean, I've wanted to.
You're way off base.
No, interlinked.
Yeah, he gets it.
Jordan needs recalibrated.
Yeah.
Oops.
We're talking about PvP in D&D
Woo!
today on our D&D podcast.
Yeah.
We got a streak going. We've actually been talking about D&D for quite a
At this
few
point, it's
episodes.
not even a streak. We are just on brand at this
Mhm.
point. Like, we're actually doing it.
And they weren't so bad. People really liked the one about working minimum wage jobs.
Yeah.
We're relatable.
It's true. Gen Z D&D. And now we're talking about Gen Z PvP D&D.
Yeah.
NOP. Renew your
You don't understand, audience. You don't understand. He's moving around. He's popping and locking over there. Oh.
We hit 500 subscribers. We'll release a video of Pertuset doing this dance.
Yeah.
Robin
release a
music
GIF.
video.
But yeah, we were racking our brains for things that we hadn't talked about before, because we've actually talked about a lot now in D&D. We've put a lot of concepts to the table, and we were just like, wow. Well, I don't think we've talked about PvP before, player versus player in D&D. And it's something we have a little bit. Our experience with it is actually kind of unique, I would argue. I don't know how many other groups have done it the way we have done it. But I don't think we've done it in the way people would expect us to have done it. So we have a little bit of experience with it, but nothing too over the board.
I feel like it's largely a taboo topic in D&D
Yeah.
anymore. Because when people say PvP and D&D, they assume the worst. They assume something awful will happen that caused it.
It's usually the title of a Reddit horror story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Reddit
like a
horror
problem
stories.
player.
Problem
Not in our case,
players.
for the most part.
Extreme. Oh, what's it? Sorry, there was a joke I was trying to think of, but I couldn't remember. There's this animator I really like, and he has this character, and his name is like extremely depressed or
Nosagi.
misused viewer or something, but I can't remember. But continue. Yeah, PvP.
Like,
I do think it really has become taboo though, because obviously I mean, I think we've talked about before, not necessarily PvP, but the idea that abused and neglected male reader, that's the character's name. We talked about how like in most D&D nowadays, there's sort of this expectation for the party to have a dynamic where everyone maybe not 100% gets along all the time, but they can at least function together as a unit, and they're not getting in each other's way. They're not, constantly blocking each other's goals and methods, because that just makes for unfun gameplay unless you like arguing. So then people associate, I think, PvP and D&D with the ultimate form of that, which is you get so angry at another player that you just want to remove them from the table.
mm-hmm. Yeah, because I can't think. I mean, granted, I'm not super in the D&D sphere, at least like as a I don't know what you want to call it, content creator fan. I don't know. I don't watch real play podcasts that much,
Mm-hmm.
but
I do.
like, yeah, Jordan do. From my knowledge, I've never really seen PvP in any of those, save for like when somebody is under the effect of a control from some other influence.
That's
But
what I was
it.
thinking. The only big example that I can think of is in Critical Role Campaign
Mhm.
2, whenever Yasha was taken over, and it wasn't even, I don't think Ashley played that session. I think it was Matt acting as Yasha, because Ashley was not present. And that's why the PvP happened, because they were trying to get her character out for the duration of however long she was going to be gone.
Precisely.
There was also a combat in Critical Role Campaign 2 where an incubus and succubus took over the minds of Caleb and I think someone else, I don't remember, and Caleb fireballed the party.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and I can't remember who the other character was.
Because the incubus got someone and the succubus got Caleb, I'm pretty sure.
Actually, I feel like I do remember. Maybe that's about where I
It
started.
was
watching.
when they were in, it was like the first time they went to Jorhas for the first time. They were in that area and that happened to them.
But yeah, aside
regardless.
from that, yeah, like I said, Critical Role is obviously the big haul. So that's the first person we gotta
Yeah.
ask is like, have they done it?
I don't think Dimension 20 really has. Not that anything that I can remember, because I don't think it's happened. No, it did. They did it for the first time this season that they're currently playing through in Fantasy High Junior Year. However, it still has the caveat of they were technically controlled by another character, but Brennan didn't take over their actions. He let the players play that out with the knowledge that they were being controlled by this entity.
Yeah, those are the two big horses. There's obviously more real play podcasts that are pretty popular. Those are the two though that we gotta check to be like, okay, how often does it happen? Because if they do it, that means like hundreds of other tables have done it. Definitely DMs that watch those go like, I'm gonna do that. That's what happens. Since they haven't done it, that means it probably hasn't happened that much. But who knows? Maybe we're crazy. But for now, that's how we're operating. Crazily.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, that was still raw. Okay. I thought that was like some kind of anime opening or something that you were doing. I didn't know.
Kind of is.
But the way we've done it, until very recently, we've mentioned this a couple of times before. We had been playing a campaign that was DM'd by Pertuset.
That's me.
We finished that campaign a little bit ago, and now for a few months I've been back in the saddle. But in Pertuset's campaign that we had been playing, we had a PvP encounter with ourselves. If you would like to explain that a little bit, Pertuset.
Yeah, that was my most fun one. I don't think we've talked about this before, but I thought it was
Not
really
extensively.
funny. Yeah. At a point where the party was entering a very dangerous section of the world, or at least a section they were told was going to be exceptionally dangerous. And this was relatively high level. I want to say at least level 10, maybe even like level 11 or 12. I told them, I said, hey guys, I'm just going to ask all of you for our next session if all of you can make a backup character, because we might need it, we might need it now. I don't want anyone agonizing over what to do when it happens, because we might need you real quick. So, time comes, everyone starts freaking out, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to make new characters. This place is going to be awful. People might die from our long-standing 1 to 20 campaign halfway through it already. People might die. Oh my gosh. So I went and gave them the rules of how to make these characters, giving them some magic items, however many feats, and all these different stuff, and all the races, backstories, etc. And it was all a farce. It was a ruse. I flummoxed them hard. Several sessions passed after that, and they made it through the section, the area they had gone to without major issue anyway. No one died. And still yet nobody had died by the time that eventually they had gotten all the MacGuffins and were on the quest to basically cash it in, right? Cash in all the MacGuffins. And on the way, they happened to meet 6 random people that were trying to ambush them. And as I described the ambushers, all of them started to realize that it was their backup characters. And then they rolled initiative. I told them to control themselves and their backup character and have at it. And I just sat back and watched because I wasn't controlling anything. And now I will turn it to the 3 that are present to discuss their experience, because I was literally a spectator.
It was such a fun combat, and it almost ended really badly.
Yeah.
It was a strange experience, because I know a lot of us, well, actually, I think all of us, made our backup characters with the intention of like, okay, these characters are going to be a little less serious than the ones we're currently
Yeah.
playing.
Dragonea.
So they were weird. They were really weird. Mine was an ant. What are they called? They're called a 3-creen. I'm pretty sure is what they're called. We had 2 gnomes, was it a gnome and a dwarf, or was it 2 dwarves?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Boib and Biob the red
Boib and Biob.
Mhm.
We had a plasmoid. What was your character? What was the plasmoid's
Tiffany.
name?
Tiffany
That's right.
was the plasmoid.
That's right.
Tiffany.
Yeah, definitely.
I wasn't playing Tiffany, even though I made Tiffany.
And
True.
we had what was yours, Jordan?
Mine was a broody vampire. I was like Shrexo's 4th cousin.
Yeah. And that was juxtaposed with like my paladin, my very stereotypical lawful good paladin, and our edgy ranger, and our, like, we had done all this character building with them, and we had NPCs we were invested in, and we had friendships, and we had drama, and we had everything. And like, we got really close to just killing them. Our main party. It was a very, very tight combat, because when you pit players who are pretty decent players against themselves, and every round you're going, okay, I have this strategy that's probably going to be really effective, and then you do that again for another character, and you're throwing all of these like super well thought out, high strategized things at each other. It hurts a lot, especially when you have 30 feet of movement and can't get out of the giant AoE spells, and when one of them is a cleric who just so happens to have their divine intervention work.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
like, over level 10 PvP hurts a lot.
Well, and I think also part of, at least in my experience, because the second he was like, all right, you're fighting yourselves, my D&D like story brain turned off, and the strategized combat brain turned on. So it was all game brain. And so I wasn't thinking like, oh, maybe I shouldn't try to kill myself because I like Arlo and I would like her to end this campaign. I immediately went, okay, what are all of this character's weak points, and what do I know I can hit
Yeah, exactly.
for my own characters? Because I did it with Val too, but that was kind of expected because Val wasn't an actual character.
And how many, it's been so long now. It's been several months, if not maybe even like half a year. How I don't remember how many people went down in that fight. Did we have
Both of my
outright?
characters.
Did we have outright deaths in that fight?
Yes.
Yes. We had, well, the entire, because that was the reason for the divine intervention, because we had beat back the alternate party. And I know Val was dead. I want to say Tiffany wasn't down, but one of the either, well, no, because Biab was the one that did the divine intervention. So I think Boyd was down. And then I think Kragnaya also was down. So I think we had at least 3 total deaths. And then the divine intervention brought them back for round 2.
Yep.
True. I must say though, I must correct you. It was Boyd that divine intervened.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, was it Boyd? I couldn't remember.
Yes,
I
Biab was the
apologize.
rogue. I had to correct you
How could
purely
you
because-
forget, Jordan, that it was
my
Boyd
apologies.
instead of Biab?
I will have to apologize to both Dylan and TJ.
Beyond the Red-Handed, first off, that backup character was spawned because we saw a sign that said "Bring your own booze,"
And
for-
Dylan was like, I want to name a character that.
yeah.
Oh.
I said we should name someone Biob, and then Dylan was like, I would call him something like Biob the Red-Handed, and that's exactly what happened. And then that inspired TJ to say, what if I did it backwards and called them Boyb?
And then in their little character story, they made them related. Weren't they like grandfather and grandson?
TJ was his
I think so,
grandfather.
yeah.
And they lived. Those two lived. They
Those two
escaped
lived.
They're still
that
out there
combat.
somewhere.
The rest of the alternate party perished in that fight.
Yeah.
And we stole their shit.
Yeah, because the serious party was like, we were ambushed by these people, no mercy, cut off their heads, disembowel them, suck their blood,
As
Yeah.
we usually do.
as they usually do.
Listen,
It's only
we
got this once, it's fine.
we were hardened combat veterans at that point in the story. No mercy.
Oh, no rest for the
Oh.
dead. But Biob and Boyd lived on.
They
Especially
TJ
since we
was
also
great.
beheaded the second PvP instance as well. Well,
Indeed.
no, only one of them got beheaded because I think the other ones fell off the.
But that was
They
was
fell off,
PV.
alright.
That was post PV. That was post PvP.
I would technically call it PvP because they were using player stat blocks.
Oh, I use player stat box for NPCs all the time.
That's PvP then by my by my logic. I'm sticking
Dang.
to it. I had
Then
I
you
had
guys have
no
done a lot
basis
more
on this hill.
PvP.
This one was, that original one was man versus self.
Yeah,
The one versus the Walmart group was man versus man.
yeah, precisely. But what I was going to say is, I think when it is the situation of man versus self, I think that's a good exercise for any party that has played together for a long time to do, because it takes away the part of it that's like, oh, I'm angry at someone and want to kill them, and now I'm going to make everyone at the table mad at me because I killed another player. No, now it is all of you trying to kill each other, and at the end of the day, you're still going to have a character left over at the end.
True.
Just may not be the one you want.
I was so ready for that. I was ready for these two to somehow, like, bits and pieces end up merged together in a weird chimeric hybrid.
Can you imagine if we finished the campaign with Tiffany instead of Iris?
Oh, I can, and I did, and I still do. No,
I wasn't playing Tiffany though.
But Tiffany
You
was there.
made Tiffany. You
I
are the reason
did.
Tiffany
you're
existed.
Tiffany's father.
Oh.
Which in Jordan's worldview and logic means that you were still Tiffany
Yep.
because
Okay.
it counts as PvP.
It counts as I'm dying on this
Okay.
hill. This is so nonsense, but I'm dying on this hill.
Who
Oh,
played Tiffany? Oh, Ashlyn, that's
Ashlyn
right.
Ashlyn
Ashlyn
played
played
Tiffany.
Tiffany
yeah.
and really didn't enjoy playing Tiffany.
No.
Wait, was
No,
Tara
because-
not there for that one?
No, I was just playing a
Was it?
different character.
Taryn had two
No,
backups
he had
because
two.
he was
Oh,
a bit
I
overzealous.
forgot who
I
your
made
second
two,
one
but
was.
Ashley didn't have one, so
Yeah.
So it worked out.
Yeah.
It did.
Oh, because we made the backup party before Ashlyn joined.
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
No, we had made it after she joined. She was just dragging her heels, and then the time came because it happened at Chitin, and she rode the roller
True.
coaster.
Oh, yeah.
True. He's right. Pertuset DM man's right. He's correct.
I've been updating that document.
He's still at work. It's over and he's working on it still.
True, brother.
Oh. But yeah, no. So I highly encourage anyone who's a little bit clumbious about PvP and D&D. If you're too afraid to kind of just throw it in or do it, make like a brief one shot where you make 2 PCs and you get your group of friends together and you do that, and perhaps it could be something like 2 rival adventurer groups. You only play as one, but then you get to the big thing at the end, the big goal, and you got to fight over it.
Yeah.
And then you do that. You have that combat.
That we do have basis for because Critical Role did their Mighty Nine versus Vox Machina one shot that one time
yeah.
where they had the battle royale.
Yep. The other 2 ideas of PvP that I have yet to implement, but may yet still, watch out in a few years, guys, was one, just an arena, a simple, straightforward, honest-to-God arena where everyone signs up, but it's one combatant each instead of teams. So if you got the fighter once in and the barbarian once in, eventually, unless one of them sucks, or both, they're gonna come to blows. But I feel like at the end of the day, they'll be happy enough if they don't die, if it's not an arena with
They
death
both
combat.
just suck so bad that they don't get into any further rounds.
Yeah. They joined at level 3. This was a
Oh.
level 10 arena.
Their first enemy was the mud method. They were boned.
No.
It was over. It was over before it began.
Not again.
Mud method is PvP. But
Very true.
the other thing that happened in Olympus with PvP, which I think sets apart it from Levi's stat block usage, is that those were character sheets made not by the DM. Whereas the ones that Levi uses were handmade by the
Yes.
DM.
They're made by me for me.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what I was getting at when I said player stat blocks.
Yeah. But I had another party in my world, which I believe has been discussed, and they came to opposition with these guys. And so when time came, they fought. They were not tailor-made to deal with another party. I don't think players usually really are. I noticed through our experiences with PvP. So it's very strange when you do it, because they had an opening move that almost killed like half of them.
Yeah.
But it's so weird. And so too that happened in the alternate party fight too. Huh. But these guys ended up winning because it was a thing of higher level versus more people. And
The power of friendship.
action economy moment.
Yeah, true. When you have what we were level 17 at the time?
17 or 18, I can't, because that was like right at the, what were we? Hold on, I'm counting.
17, then we fought Big Man, we fought Typhon, 18.
Yep.
Then we fought
Ratsistas, which was
Ratsi-
not
but
a
did
level,
that-
that was a...
No, that was not a level because then
Because then Dionysus was the next one.
Yep.
Yes. And then we were 19, and then we did something that got us to 20, but I forget what it was.
Iris died.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, that is how that went.
So yeah, we were level 17. So 6 17s versus 3 20s. Yeah, no, it's the 17s are probably gonna win.
They did give us a run for our money, though. It was close.
It was a little close. It was a little close, but we got him in the end.
Yep.
We had a particularly nasty wizard battle between our not very high level wizard because he was multi-classed and their level 20 sorcerer.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, and then
But
there was
yeah.
the time that we fought, what were we called? It was Pygmalion, but it was Darkness. Was it Darkmalion? Or I can't remember what the shorthand for that was. That was controlled by TJ.
Was he controlled by TJ?
I think
Yep.
so.
That time
Okay.
he was. That's why you guys one-shot him. I know
That's right.
he doesn't watch these episodes and he's not here right now, so I'm gonna tell you, he was
He's
so
gonna dunk on
confident.
TJ.
He was so confident he had y'all's number. He said, I'm killing 2 people at least. He said, I'm killing Xamda, I'm killing Iris. And I said, yeah.
Oh,
and
he called the shots.
He outlined
Oh.
how he was gonna do it and what was gonna happen. And I was just sitting there like, well, you gotta remember there's action economy, buddy. What about like initiative? You don't have a lot of decks. And he was like, it should be fine. I have this much HP. Died in a round. As far as
It
I
was
recall,
not, in
didn't
fact,
even get an
fine.
action. I
I'll
don't
let a
think.
natural 20 be like.
And so he got a little glimpse for for like a minute. He got a glimpse of what it's like to feel like a DM when you have a monster.
True. Either you make this monster and either it horribly brutalizes the party and like, oh my god, I made it too strong, or they steamroll it and you're like, I made that not strong enough.
Mm-hmm. That's why I was sitting there and he was so confident, and I was like, after it happened, I was just like, how do you feel? This is a learning moment. The best laid plans of mice and men, buddy.
You also have to remember this is the same man that tried to 1v1 a god in the last campaign, too.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Hubris.
No, wasn't last game, but well, okay, that they just happened in more than one campaign.
2 campaigns ago now, from Olympus last campaign.
Yeah. It's like yesterday's yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, he also... Oh, no, that was just into. Okay, no, I'm crazy. Don't worry about me, I'm crazy.
Okay.
You're crazy.
Renew
I am.
your
I'm crazy.
definition. Oh.
Oh, can you tell we play Honkai Star Rail? Can you?
It
Oh,
doesn't have
No, what
PvP.
is that?
And I'm so glad.
Honkai Star
Anyway.
Rail is a fantastic game. It's got an amazing story, beautiful graphics.
We are not sponsored.
What do they
We're
say?
not. I just
Honkai
like the
Star Rail
game
is a
that much.
spacefaring sci-fi action adventure RPG.
Yeah, get me the ad script right now. I'm gonna start reading it.
Can we be
Maybe
sponsored
one day.
is the question.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, true. I would love to be sponsored by
Mhm.
Honkai Star
I
Rail.
don't think they give us anything for doing it other than money, but still.
Money can be turned into stellar jades.
True, I was hoping they would just give me the stuff in the game. Skip the middleman. I don't need money. Jordan, is it okay if I take your share?
It's a simple transaction. MiHoYo gives us money, and we simply return the money, and then they give us stellar jades.
It's a circle. It's
Yes, and then we put the stellar jades into getting their characters, thus making the game more played, thus making more people want to play the game.
See, now you guys understand how I got paid when I worked at Disney. I worked at Disney and then I spent all my money at Disney World.
Exactly.
Oh, it's a vicious cycle.
It's a wash cycle.
what?
Because I'm
No,
washed.
he's right. But
Thanks.
Other than that, PvP and D&D. Oh, the other idea I've yet to implement that I had an idea for as well is, how familiar are you guys with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Steel Ball Run?
Are we doing a JoJo
The
campaign
first part
again?
of that. Yes, do a JoJo campaign again.
I legitimately was about to make some JoJo's homebrew items today, but
Oh.
Yo.
then I played Honkai Star Rail for 4 hours. But yeah, Steel Ball Run involves several people, if you're not familiar, setting out on a race to go from one side of the USA to the other, from West Coast to East Coast, and along the way there are MacGuffins they need to get. Well, not necessarily. That's not part of the race, but it becomes like a side quest that becomes the main quest. I don't know how else really to
Jesus.
describe it. Yeah, true, actually.
The first JoJo.
But I was thinking of doing something similar to that. Or maybe perhaps it's more like One Piece, where it's like there's a part of the game where all the players are together and it's like, okay guys, you all need to go get this MacGuffin. Other people are into it as well. There are no rules. Just bring me the MacGuffin.
Come on board and bring along all your hopes and dreams.
Definition. And so I figured that, I don't know if that would be I don't know. That was Taryn, but
Sweet swap.
I don't know if that would be a thing where the players in the party would fight each other over the MacGuffin, because I could see it where if there was an evil or perhaps more chaotically aligned party member, if the party gets the MacGuffin and they're close to the finish line, one of them just taking it and turning it in for themselves.
I could see that.
Or somebody that's less intelligent but doing something similar, fighting the party at the base of the MacGuffin and being like, I want it, it's mine.
That too, that could be an interesting. I think we briefly talked about this before, of like the idea of, maybe we haven't talked about it on the podcast. Maybe we've only talked about it in real life in private, but the idea of one player like working with the DM behind the scenes to be like, I actually am a bad guy.
Yeah.
and here's all of my things that I'm doing that the party is not aware of, and so on and so forth. And they get all the way to the end and they get the MacGuffin, and then the whole thing is like they get supercharged, powered, and become a final boss that the party has to fight. Depending on how extensively that player worked with the DM, I would say that would be more player involvement than DM involvement in making the stat block, so I could still count that as PvP in my book. That could be an interesting take on PvP.
Caiaphas finna be Sunday.
Spoilers.
It's okay. They don't know. They straight up don't play and don't play.
True. Taryn's still in 2.2 right now. He just got done with 2.1.
I'm not even done with 2.1.
You're not done with 2.1?
No.
Yep. Nope. He's even worse. Even worse than I thought.
Anybody catching the credits that it said Pina Connie as Gallagher? Anyway. But yeah, it could be something like that. Or otherwise, if it was a MacGuffin quest, it could be something similar to how we did the alternate party, and you just have another party that fights the party for the MacGuffin. Maybe several parties. It could be a whole thing of no monsters, only parties.
You do that thing that some groups do where it's like the like 2 or 3 DMs in a world, and they have like dozens of parties, grand campaigns, and then the final session is like a dozen 6-person parties all fighting.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so chaotic. We need to do more combats where there's several parties. Not like D&D parties, but like Team A, Team B, and Team C. Not
just 2 interests.
Yeah.
But 3 groups, 4 groups.
Because then it's like it's like playing 3-person chess, and you're like, okay, are we gonna make an alliance, or are we gonna fight each other, or when are you gonna? So
you want to play Risk? You want to play Risk?
But with D&D.
But as D&D,
just in some combats, and that's
there's
only with
more dice, Jordan. There's more.
What if you do like 5 teams that suddenly show up at a MacGuffin, and it's like, okay, or did we just become best friends? Like.
Fireball.
Did we just become mortal enemies?
Did we just become best friends? Shakes hand. I cast Disintegrate.
2 rogues of a party being like, dude, we're close. We got this. We're gonna watch each other's back. The 2 wizards of the same parties.
Yeah, just explosion. Oh.
You feeling lucky, punk? You got counterspell prepared today?
I count 6 level 3 spells.
No, you used 1, so you're down to your last 2 bullets.
Oh, man.
Oh.
But yeah. What else is there to say?
I think there's another... Well, you mentioned Caiaphas. That's something that we can mention as like anticipated PvP. Because we're not very far into the campaign so far, but before the campaign started, we had talked about the fact that Pertuset's character has goals that significantly do not align with the rest of the party. And so there have been debates on how, which obviously we won't know until we get to the end, but there have been debates on how we're actually going to handle that in character, if it's going to come to blows or not. And I think we all kind of started with the understanding that the end of Vivia 3 very well may be PvP.
Maybe.
Yeah. I like my evil character.
I still think you can fix him with the power of friendship.
I do too. We're gonna.
I doubt it.
Levi believes in me. I've been saying it this whole time.
Renew your definition, sucker.
I'm giving them false hope. I'm kidding.
Oh. But yeah, the last one.
See, he started by shaking his head no in response to the you can fix him, but now he's dancing again. Now he's dancing.
He's just vibing.
Now he's I feel like he's been listening to the Robin song on repeat the entire time we've been
in my
playing
head.
It over and over in your head counts as listening to it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh.
Now Victor, in a sense, in so many ways, did do PvP, just not in any actual combat. Killed Shiro twice.
Yeah.
This is true.
1 in backstory, 1 in game.
Well, we all have a hit on Shiro. Everybody took a turn killing Shiro at least once.
Wait, I killed Shiro 3 times. Yeah, true. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's the 3 deaths, Levi. Shiro is Firefly.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do that
Firefly.
Out of 3, 2 must pay the price.
Oh no.
And the 2 were Shiro?
No.
What? Twice? Out of 3, 2 must pay the price. All 3 are Shiro.
Before Victor got the ultimate vibe check, the attitude adjustment from John Cena, Victor was working with the bad guy for a handful of sessions at the beginning.
Yeah.
True.
Just going opposite of that, unbeknownst to all the characters, but not unbeknownst to many of the players.
Because
Unbeknownst to Victor, because you
Leapfrog.
didn't realize it was the bad guy.
True.
because if any of you have connected the dots, if you're an avid podcast listener and you've connected the dots over the many times we've spoken about our previous characters we've played, Pertuset has a running theme, which is he has always tried to play someone evil in every campaign I've done, and so far it has not worked. But he is very adamant that third time is in fact the charm, and that it's gonna work this time. Trust me, guys. Here's how X can still win.
Saving character death. I don't see how it's not going to work this time.
The power of friendship.
I stand correct.
I don't think the power of friendship's gonna work.
I fully
Jordan.
believe in the power of friendship.
I think there are other routes available that aren't the power of friendship, but I don't think the power of friendship's gonna work.
The
this
power
time.
Didn't work the
violence.
first time. In fact, was the reason it failed.
But yeah, no, first campaign, he played a character that was on the surface comically evil, and I think underneath a little bit not comically evil. Ended up getting killed because he was too overzealous about it and exposed himself probably too early. Second
exposed
character
himself.
started as evil and then, like he just said, got vibe checked by the metaphorical
horrors.
John Cena and decided to be good after that. So he has also avoided the impending PvP so far. But is intent on having it occur at some point, I think. This is just his long con. He wants the PvP. He welcomes it openly.
I think it would be freaking dope if it comes to it and Levi like makes me strong, because as a caster by myself, there's no shot. There's no shot. I'm just living unless I cast like wish that's like kill these 5 mofo.
Well, I think if all of them were marshals, you'd be fine, but they're not.
They're not. So I think it would be sick if in fact I do become Sunday. Just do that to me.
Put it on the wish list. Put it.
True, right?
I need to make my wish list.
He's got this idea in their head, viewers. He's making a wish list that only I can see.
I'm like a mimetic venereal disease.
We're gonna have to do an entire other episode about the wish lists. We're gonna.
True. I'm just gonna point out that you, of your own accord, said Columbius in this recording.
Yeah.
I did do that.
I am a mimetic venereal disease.
Because I thought it was funny.
Precisely.
Funny
Precisely.
Oh.
That's how I spread. Once you think it's funny, it's too late. Taryn is my acolyte.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk about wish lists in D&D, and we're gonna have to talk about Himple's Raven in D&D. No, actually though, we should do a little sneak peek for anyone watching this far into the episode. I think we should do an episode that's all about like mysteries, creating them, and mystery solving in D&D, because that's actually something that we've touched on a good bit as well. And if you watch our Umineko streams, which now we do right before we play D&D,
True.
we've got Himple's Raven on the brain.
It's got me so primed when we play D&D because now I'm a genius every time.
Which is why all of my other players should watch those streams as well before D&D so that they can be ready to mystery solve. Obviously, not because I want to boost viewership.
Yeah, they should watch
I was
it
at the
live,
library reading books. That's why I wasn't there yesterday.
Umineko's basically
my
just a book.
library.
What'd you say, Taryn?
I drove Jordan to the library yesterday.
So it's your fault. It's your fault that Jordan wasn't watching our stream because you are the enabler in this situation.
Well, I told him
Sweet
I'd buy him
shop.
Taco Bell. So
enabling people to go.
So
to the
you accepted a
library.
bribe.
he did.
Yes. Yes, I did.
You sinful creature.
Looping back to the topic at hand, I have one more version of PvP.
I'm going to
Probably
PvP
right.
Terran in real life.
I'm gonna PvP
Yeah.
in your mouth.
I'm
Anyway, Jordan.
Promise?
I was gonna say it's not necessarily PvP in the traditional sense, but I think that there is value. You were talking earlier about how like now it's the accepted canon of D&D that all the parties are like best friends and found family and everybody gets along all the time and everything. I
Hmm.
think it is a very good thing to have inter-party conflict that is agreed upon between players when players have differing worldviews and differing opinions on things.
Mhm.
Gold.
Because again, looping back to Vivia 2, we had two different clerics in the same party that had very similar vibes, but then the characters didn't get along because they had two completely separate worldviews on the same type of magic, which I think can work very well. And I think that that's underplayed because it's sacrificed for the sake of like everybody has to be best friends all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The more similar we are, the farther apart we are.
Okay,
Yeah.
Battler.
I don't know if anybody else had any thoughts on that, but I wanted to get that out because I think that there can be like emotional PvP in
Yep.
D&D.
I mean,
True.
the pendulum always is swinging, you know.
Mhm.
I mean, I think in the past that, you know, that's what we always get from like Gen X people who played D&D back when like 3.5 just can't, not even 3.5 before that, when that was the whole thing was like, you didn't make friends. You went into dungeons and got gold. That's what D&D's all about, is getting treasure. That's like what the old, now they're super old guard D&D people were like, is you go in, you die, and you bring X character the second in, and and so the pendulum has swung in the complete opposite direction now, which is everyone being like, no, D&D is a storytelling game where we have these found families that all love each other, and they have horrible tragic backstories, and now they love each other. And the pendulum, for me, I prefer the pendulum being more in the middle.
I feel like both things can be true.
I can see the appeal of both sides. But I do think eventually, because it has swung now so far in the opposite direction, it's going to start swinging again. And it's going to we'll probably see a shift as the years go on of people being like, I'm tired of the trope of everyone being found family in D&D and blah, 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 blah.
That
Am I
being
the
said,
asshole?
it's such a
Am
good
I?
trope. It makes me so happy when characters are friends, but also argue with your party. It's fun.
Yes. Healthy disagreement exists in real life. And so it could
No, it
also
doesn't.
disagree it. You know what? He's right. No,
Dang it! No, I'm not. Oh, I think in our group we are the pendulum.
what do you mean by that? What do you?
When Levi's a player, it's the found family because Levi's the player. When I'm the player, it's intrigue, and I'm gonna kill all of you until I get vibe check.
The DM is the decider.
The DM /
The
player.
great decider.
The switch off is the decider.
We are the pendulum.
Oh.
I mean, we can still have found family with one of us being evil. You're just pretending to be part of the found family.
You can try.
Pretending, no. I just need you guys to agree with me.
Yeah. The rest
He
of
wants
us
you
like
to
each
be
other
his
fine. He's
evil
being
found
manipulative.
family.
Mm-hmm. It's just that easy. Medley's already about it. But
Almost.
Gets bullied once.
Bullied once, immediately decides she wants to destroy the world.
I told her to
Creep
buck up,
chomp.
chump, or buck up, pal, and now she's with me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I just the switch was so fast, and that's what makes it so funny. It was literally one day of somebody being like, "Who are your parents?" and she immediately goes, "Yeah, no, I'm gonna kill everybody."
I'm not there yet. I said that
You saying
specifically.
yet implies that is your intention.
We
No.
can fix that.
It can be fixed.
Yeah, you can get there quicker.
True. So true.
No.
So in about a year, we're going to have a follow-up episode to this one
Mhm.
where we talk about the PvP that has happened in our current ongoing campaign.
It is gonna happen, I win. I win.
It seems like right now that's where it might be heading, but who knows? We'll keep you updated, audience. We'll keep you updated.
I never would have expected when we started Vivia 3 that my criminal character was going to be one of the more moral people in the party.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If you let it happen once, I'm gonna be done. Like, once I make a successful evil character, I'm gonna be like, I'm done playing with you now, and I'm not gonna do it.
What do you constitute as success? Like,
He
you
wants to
succeed
end
in
the
your
world.
goal?
No, I get to level 20 still being evil.
Okay.
Okay. I can fail
Okay,
at the
you
very
heard him,
end.
guys. You heard him, guys.
Then I'll be done with it. I won't be
We're
entertained.
just not going to let him get to level 20.
Well, that'll
Then
be
I'll
their
just keep
prerogative.
doing it. Oh. And you guys should do the same. Next time you play D&D with your groups, tell them that you're going to fight everyone in the party until you successfully achieve your goal.
I called evil character for Olympus 2. That's already mine.
See, exactly. See?
Why are we all doing evil characters now?
Because I want to be evil.
See?
Mine will be very easily swayed by the power of friendship, though.
You just got to do it once to get it out of your system, you know? It's kind of like playing Undertale and going through Genocide once just to test it out.
Just for funsies. No, that's also the difference between the Pertuset evil character and the prospective Jordan evil character is that Pertuset genuinely wants to be evil. I will say that I want to start out as evil, and then everybody will start talking and doing character things, and I'm like, I want to be friends with everybody.
I'm Watame pilled over here. I cry when I do the genocide run in Undertale.
I know I can't.
My heart
be mean
can't
to people
handle
in
it.
video games.
I can't.
I need to do it once. Just once, and then I'm done.
Next game, Pertuset streaming Undertale.
I also think that's the difference, is that you want to be an evil character just to be an evil character. I want to play an evil character so that he gets a redemption story.
I don't like.
I don't think Pertuset wants to do it just to be evil. I think he envisions a good story to be told through the lens of
I'm
being
simplifying it, yes.
True.
Trust me, if any of our players were ever like, I want to be evil for the sake of being evil, then they probably wouldn't be with us anymore.
Well, they're not, because she just got drunk and she drank the river Styx and snapped one of her horns off.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, Taryn.
Yeah, remember back when every time Taryn actually just does something we really don't like at the table, we vaporize him and replace him with another homunculus that just has all of its memories wiped?
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
Don't tell him.
Like what?
Umineko, the homunculus.
Oh, I thought you said Oshinoko.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh,
Oh, you didn't read that part in the manga.
no. It's been established I couldn't get past the first episode.
Hashikami.
So yeah, here's how you, at home, can implement PvP into your D&D, courtesy of the Nat One Podcast.
At risk of sounding cliche, go do a crime.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed the episode you just listened to. If you really like our content, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications on YouTube, and look for us on Spotify. If you'd like to see us continuing to do more fun projects in the future, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can find our page linked in the description above all of our other social media links. And finally, if you'd like to keep up with the zany shenanigans of our lives and check out some more skit-based content and things like that, check us out on Twitter and TikTok, links in the description. And hey, thanks!